All right, everybody. If you're watching on YouTube and also if you're listening here on Discord, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the experience. We are back after the holidays. I hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. I hope you ate plenty of turkey, stuffing, whatever it is you choose to eat on Thanksgiving. But I hope you guys are safe and had a nice little holiday. I did. Justin, how was your holiday?
It was all right.
All right. Uh, what'd you eat? What were the servings over at your place?
Um, Traditional Thanksgiving dinner: turkey, ham, stuff, dressing.
Mm.
Regular stuff.
All right. What's usually your favorite I guess your favorite plate or side for Thanksgiving?
Turkey, ham, stuffing, mac and cheese.
Mm. We had Thanksgiving here at the house. It's probably our first Thanksgiving like actually here as a I guess as a unit. And it was pretty good. All the food came out really good. The stuffing I thought came out great. Um the sister-in-law, she did most of the cooking and she did a great job, so hats off, chef's kiss to her. And she made mac and cheese. And if anyone that knows me knows I am a mac and cheese connoisseur.
As
And
has long been, known, of course.
yes, sir. And the mac and cheese really did it hit where it should have hit. That's the best way to put it. So it was muy perfecto. But yeah, so we're back. We're back after the holiday weekend. Gearing up for another holiday in about like what 3 weeks.
Yep, 3 weeks to the day, actually.
Yeah, it's almost the end of the year, which is nuts to think about. But we are back nonetheless, people, and we're here to talk some wrestling. And it's been a big wrestling centric week. So are you ready to talk about Survivor Series, Justin?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's pull it up. Survivor Series War Games occurred over the weekend on Saturday, November the 30th, which was right after Thanksgiving. It was in Vancouver, British Columbia, in the Rogers Arena. Attendance was 17,828, and there were 5 matches, which is usually how WWE does it. Chris Matthews, I see him in the YouTube chat. What's up, Chris Matthews? Good to see you here. Good friend of mine, good friend of the show. So let's talk some wrestling. Let's talk some Survivor Series.
Well, which one
We
is he?
will
Is
be.
the Alons or is it a franchise?
What are you talking about?
Say Chris Matthews.
Oh, he's in the YouTube.
Oh, in the YouTube. My bad. I thought you said. I was thinking Discord. No, carry on. My bad.
He's in the YouTube chat. Good friend of the show. Good guy, that Chris Matthews. But first match of the night was the women's War Games match. You had Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bailey versus the Judgment Day of Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. What were your thoughts on this match?
It fucking suck except the last 5 minutes.
Thank you. I my sentiments exactly. This match was not good. Like you said, until the last like 5-ish minutes is where it kind of got interesting. Well, not really interesting, but just I guess exciting. Um, and it's just like with the crop of talent in this match, you had Bianca Belair, you had Rhea Ripley, you had Bailey, you had Io Sky, and they didn't really do anything in this match.
You want to know the problem? The
Huh.
problem is two things. One, you had Nia Jax draw off the match. She's not a workhorse.
Mm-hmm.
She's been having a great year, for her standards, right? She's not a workhorse. So that's number one. Also, number two, this did not need to be in a War Games match. There was no heat. It was just thrown together. It was like, oh, the man has a War Games match. Oh, the women has to have a War Games match too. This would have been better off being a traditional Survivor Series match.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree, and I'm so glad you said that. Um, with Survivor Series, I dig the fact that they brought back War Games, but it's dangerously starting to get close to what they were doing to Hell in a Cell, which was it's Hell in a Cell, so we need a match, for the pay per view. this again, like you said, this easily could have just been a Survivor Series, traditional match. I think it would have. I don't know. I don't know if it would have been better, but it definitely didn't need War Games. It really didn't. Um,
Yeah.
and it's just again, Tiffany Stratton didn't even, or I mean, there was a spot where she looked like she was going to cash in, and then Raquel was like, "What the hell are you doing?" Blah blah blah, and that's really
Which
about
is
it.
which is being overdone in Survivor Series matches or War Games matches too as well, because then Damian Priest do that last year.
Yeah, and but yeah, just Tiffany didn't really do anything in this match except for that swanton dive. Io did her traditional jump off the cage in a trash can bit. Rhea again did nothing in this match. Candice was just looking for an iota of something in this match. Like I was happy for Candice being in this match. I like Candice. She seems like a nice person. She's very well liked among her peers, but she got nothing in this match. Um, and like you said, Nia was not the right person to start off this match at all. It just wasn't. Should have been someone like, I mean, Tiffany, maybe even Candice. Maybe have them start the match off, and then have Nia come out last and just level everybody. But and I hate to pick on her. Raquel just she's not working in the spot with Liv. Like Raquel's problem is that she tries to look menacing, but it doesn't really work, and I don't believe it. Like she comes out trying to look like Diesel, or I guess Chola Diesel, wearing the bandana and the sunglasses and smiling. It just doesn't work. And I can't tell if she's disinterested or if she's trying and it just isn't working. So again, Raquel, I love her to death. She seems like a sweetheart of a girl, and she actually is. Um, but yeah, this match, the last like 5-ish minutes, maybe 3-ish minutes, or is when it got exciting. But it's easily the worst. I don't want. Yeah, I'm gonna say worst match of the night so far. Well, not so far overall. Um, so next we got the United States Championship. You have LA Knight defending against Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura with a new entrance, a little bit of a tweak on his theme. Um, I mean, I kind of called it the Ghost of Tsushima, entrance. I thought it was kind of cool, but what do you think about Nakamura's new entrance and new look?
I like it. I like the samurai get up.
I like it too. It's pretty cool. Apparently, it was his idea. That's the word going around. But um, kind of a short match. It was it 9 minutes and 45 seconds. I'm seeing good back and forth action. Kind of seemed like a SmackDown match, if anything, but still a fun match. Um, in the end, Nakamura ends up DDTing Knight on the steel, I guess the steel platform in between the ring. And then goes for Kinshasa, gets the pin, and is now the new United States champion. What are your thoughts?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right, explain. What do you mean by it doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter who's the U.S. champion right now. Tao's dead.
Right. I'm glad Nakamura won because I picked Nakamura because LA Knight to me, ever since he won that title, it just it's not so much he's ice cold, it's just the problem with him being a champion is the same problem with Cody, when he won his title, which was the chase was interesting, but now he's the champion. It's like, what are you gonna do now? And for a while with Cody, it was just like they put him in these like feuds where it's like we already know Cody's gonna win the match. Like we knew AJ wasn't gonna win. Granted, it was a good match, but he wasn't gonna win. I thought his match with Logan was good, but we knew Logan wasn't gonna win. Um, and then he got put into the feud with the Bloodline, where it wasn't even his feud; it was more Roman's feud. And now he's in a more meaningful feud with Kevin Owens, where Kevin Owens is the most interesting he's ever been. And you kind of have that thought of like they might just give it to Kevin Owens for like a month, but we'll get to that. But with LA Knight, it's like he won. It's like, okay, what do you do with him now? And it's just like kind of the same thing with Cody, where it's like, he's going to wrestle Carmelo Hayes, then he's going to wrestle Andrade, then he's going to wrestle Escobar, then he's going to wrestle both of them, and what else? So I think with Nakamura, it's like, okay, you brought him back, so what are you going to do with him? Like, if he had lost, it's like, okay, there's really nothing else you can do with Nakamura at this point. So,
You know
like you
what's
said,
gonna happen? You know what's gonna happen? This is
what?
theory. No
Hmm.
breaking news or anything like that. I think Penta's gonna debut and win the United States title from Nakamura.
Hmm.
He's a free
That's
agent. He's officially a free agent, so I
I
don't know.
saw that. I saw that. I mean, he might just debut on another show. Wink, wink. But we'll get to we'll get to that. But like you said, the U.S. title kind of doesn't really matter at this point. Um, maybe you can find some fresher matchups for Nakamura. L.A. Knight, I think at this point he's an attraction.
Yeah,
He's
of
over.
course.
People like the theme, or people. Yeah, well, he has a good theme. People like the catchphrase. They like him. Um, he doesn't really like the world on fire when he wrestles. Like I said before, he's kick and punch guy, which is nothing wrong with that. We need kick and punch guys every now and then. But this
Well,
match I thought this
I
match
don't
was
know.
good.
If you got half the roster that can only do kick and punch, man, this shit's gonna be boring to watch.
Right. I mean, you need to kind of like spread it out every now and then. You need your flippy guys, you need your workhorses, your technical guys, your big guys, and your kick and punch guys. So you need to spread it out a little bit. But next is you have the triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker versus Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. This is my match of the night. I thought this was really, really good. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. I thought the crowd lit up for it. The crowd, for the most part, they were like kind of sitting on their hands throughout this whole night. Like even the main event. But we'll get to it. But it's just like this. The crowd seemed more lively for this match. Um, it goes without saying, Braun is a star. I mean, he's already a star. There's no denying that. Ludwig, I think, is a future star in the making. And Sheamus is Sheamus. Sheamus is out there to be Sheamus and do Sheamus things. Not an insult. Not an insult. I'm just saying, Sheamus he's the wily veteran, and he was the guy out there to kind of be the veteran. And Chris Matthews is pointing it out, that flying shoulder arm. Oh no, that flying shoulder, a Braun Breaker, which I called the Sonic the Hedgehog bump, which which is kind of apropos because the Sonic movie was the I guess the advertiser for the match, so Braun had to do a Sonic the Hedgehog spot. But I thought it was a fantastic triple threat. Um, the right guy won. Braun pretty much he flew over Sheamus and speared the fuck out of Ludwig. So Braun is still your champion, your Intercontinental champion. What'd you think?
Very, very, very good match. Probably will say match. Well, maybe match of the night for me as well. But all three guys worked together. Gonna look back at this at 5 years, and 5 years from now, I was gonna be like, oh man, Ludwig Kaiser and Braun Breaker was in the ring with Sheamus early on in their WWE careers, and look at them now. It's gonna be one of those types of conversations. So yeah.
I really do like Ludwig. I mean, I love Shane. I'm not Sheamus. Well, I do like Sheamus, but I like Gunther. I love Gunther, obviously. But I think Ludwig is a guy who's kind of like looking at Gunther and going, "Hey, I can maybe be half of that, maybe more if you let me." So, kind of looks like they're letting him, based off of what we saw on Raw. But speaking of Gunther, next is you had a singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther versus Damian Priest. Um, I thought this was good. I didn't think it was great. Thought it was good. Um, I thought it told a good story of Damien working with one arm, like he was working hurt, quote unquote. And a lot of it was like, can Damien overcome the odds? And I mean, I picked Gunther to win. But there was a part of me that was kind of thinking, are they going to give it to Damien? Like that. That's how that
No,
small
no,
part, small part, small part. But
no.
um, there was kind of a scary part in the match where Damien falls out of the ring, and it looks like he hurt his other arm, and he's telling the ref, give me a second, give me a second. And then Finn comes out, and attacks Damien while the ref's not looking. which I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit when I saw that because I was like, oh God, we're doing this again. But I guess they had to find a way to kind of protect Gunther, but also protect Damien, and that also tells a story after the match, because Gunther told Finn, "I didn't need your help. I can beat Damien on my own, and you tarnish that victory for me." So more than likely, they're going to run it back in the future with Gunther and Damien, maybe at the Royal Rumble. I don't know, or maybe at Saturday Night's Main Event in San Antonio. But overall, I thought this was a good match, not a great match. I thought it was a good match. But
I
what'd you
think they're
think?
gonna do triple threat.
No, they might do that too.
They're gonna do a
What?
triple threat. That's what I'm feeling.
All right. So what'd you think?
Second best match of the year for Damian Priest, only behind his match with Drew McIntyre Clash at the Castle. I thought it was a very good match. Very good story, old school type of story that was told here. Obviously you have to have Gunther win. I mean, you're not gonna put this title on Damian Priest back right now, at least. So, very good match.
Right. Now we're on to the main event. The men's War Games match. Roman Reigns and the Usos, Sami Zayn and CM Punk, versus the Bloodline of Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Bronson Reed. This match was everything it needed to be. It was everything it needed to be and more. Um, Another good story it told with CM Punk and Roman of can they coexist, and that's become a meme, which I think is hilarious. Um, there were spots where Roman, when he came in and was greeting everyone, and then sees Punk and just kind of rolls his eyes. And also the spot with the cage, when they're inside the cage, where the cage opens, CM Punk's about to go out, and Roman blocks him and tells Sammy to go out. And then CM Punk gets him back when the cage opens. Roman's about to go out, and then Punk just like knocks him out of the way, or just like kind of shoves him out of the way and goes in instead. Um, yeah, I really did enjoy this match. It gave us everything we needed. Some injuries coming out. Jimmy Uso broke his toe, which I kind of expected because when he came down for that splash, I was like, okay, he hurt something because I looked like it hurt. And then Bronson Reed, what did he broke his ankle? He rolled his ankle. What happened? Because I saw the video of him coming down, and it looked like he hurt something. So, it's the price you pay for putting on a good match. Um, but yeah, and then there's a spot, towards the end of the match with Punk and Roman where Bronson is going for that splash. Punk gets him out of the way, and then Roman is thinking like, well, he's here to help, and then offers an olive branch, helps him up, and then they all corner Solo, and there's kind of a funny moment with Solo where he yells, "I'm still the tribal chief!" And then they just all do their moves on Solo and then pin him. And then afterwards, Roman and CM Punk shake hands, solely for Paul Heyman. But Roman, I guess Roman has a newfound respect for Punk. Still doesn't like him, but respects him more now because he did business. But overall, what you think about the match?
Very, very, very good War Games match. Very good. Very good story told. Not super crazy with the spots, but hey, you don't need to have super crazy spots every War Games match. So, you know, enjoyed it very thoroughly.
All right, and then afterwards, they really did kind of stretch out, I guess, the afterbirth of the match where everyone's leaving, and then they end up posing in the entrance. Which, did you think for a second that somebody was going to come out like The Rock?
I mean, they telegraphed it, but I don't think it matters now.
Right? Yeah, you're right. But overall, really good War Games pay per view. I really did like the main event. It might be my favorite, I guess, WWE style War Games match to date. It, I gotta really look at all of them, including the NXT ones. But overall, what would you give this? What grade would you give this pay per view?
7 out of 10.
Oh man,
Well, I mean, it wasn't that great. I mean, the middle of the card was really good. The men's War Games match was formulaic, but like, I'll put it to you this way: Raw was way, 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 way better than War Games. You know what I
I
mean? With the stories that were told, but
right.
this here was just like it felt like a linking show. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is that like it progressed some story, but like overall it wasn't like anything. Like I expected more from a Big Four pay-per-view. I'll just say that.
I mean, I liked it a little bit more. I'd probably give it a B plus. Um,
So like an A and a half, huh?
yeah, I mean, I mean, I didn't like the women's match. I thought that was the weakest part of the show. The mid card I thought was really good. I really didn't. I thought the triple threat was my favorite match of the night. Um,
In comparison to last year, like which show would you prefer? This War Games, this Survivor Series, or last year's Survivor Series pay per view?
ooh, ooh, boy, that's tough. That's tough because last year I really did like that War Games match, especially the outcome afterwards.
To
Um,
me, it's not even a debate for me. It's last year by a country mile.
it's tough. That's tough. It honestly is tough. But yeah, just last year the War Games match from last year I thought was better. Um, well, as good, but like CM Punk coming out was just wow, chef's kiss. But yeah, I still did like this War Games. I still really did like this War Games. But yeah, since we're talking about Raw, let's talk about Raw. It was Monday, in Everett, Washington, at the Angel of Winds Arena. Never heard of that place before. CM Punk opens the show by coming from the back and shaking hands with Jey Uso and also Sami Zayn. Comes out in a brand new hoodie, which I actually like that hoodie, by the way. And it's not on the WWE shop website yet. They have Steve Austin's, but they don't have Punk's. But I want that Punk one. But he comes out saying, "Is it good to be alive here in Everett, Washington?" He noted that the show was sold out. He said the last time the fans saw him on Raw, he wasn't sure what the future held for him coming out of Hell in the Cell. He said he was fresh off of a potential career-ending War Games match, but was feeling a lot better than he did coming out of Hell in the Cell. He said he wants to put things aside and did some personal business for his friend Paul Heyman, and stood at the middle rope and said he knows what the future holds. Punk pointed to the rafters and asked if the fans could see it, obviously making gesture to a WrestleMania sign. He said he knows what the future holds. He said there are different roads you can take to get there, and there's different ways to finish your story. He spoke about the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, blah, blah, blah. Invited the fans to come on the journey with him and said he was in. And I'm messing up my words. Punk invited the fans to come on the journey with him, and then he was interrupted by entrance music. It was Seth. And you can also see, Punk mouthing the words, fuck. Made his entrance, and Punk said he'd been thinking a lot and he determined that he should have knocked Punk's ass out the day he returned to WWE. He said he's regretted not doing it every single day for the past year. He said a lot has gotten in the way over the last year. Rollins said Punk got hurt and he had titles to defend and a bloodline to take down. He said the last time he saw Punk, he was close to taking a shot, but he had pity for him because he had just come out of Hell in the Cell. Rollins said having pity for Punk was a mistake and said that seeing Punk stand triumphant next to Roman Reigns made it clear to him that it was time to rectify his mistake. Um, and said he had a feeling in his gut that it would be the night that he knocks CM Punk on his ass tonight. Punk then told Rollins he talked too much and doesn't listen. He recalled saying he put the personal things aside. Punk said Rollins was champion 6 months ago. Um, well, actually, like what, 8 months ago, and now he had nothing he wanted, or he had something he wanted, but now he has nothing. Punk said he knows where he's going, and I know what's in my future, and kid, you ain't it. Punk stepped closer to Rollins while saying that Rollins thought about him for 6 months, but he doesn't think about Rollins at all. Punk said he has things to do in the business and told Rollins to stay out of his business. Rollins said Punk talks too much and doesn't listen enough. This is my business. Rollins shoved Punk to the mat. Punk got up and they started fighting. They both started brawling. Jey Uso and Sami Zayn came out and broke him up, as did Adam Pearce and a few other producers. And I guess before we get into what happened after that, what did you think about the opening segment?
Fantastic storytelling. Fantastic stuff.
Right. Again, Punk usually knocks it out of the park with his promos. One thing about Punk, and I don't know if he said it before.
I'll just say this, just to add a little to it. Sorry to interrupt, but like
Don't worry about it.
I saw some discourse online, um, kind of saying that there's like where does Punk go from here and everything, and there's a few people suggesting like Rollins and Punk, maybe for like possibly for WrestleMania, and there are people saying that there are some people that are really really fond of it, and some people that are like I was like I don't want to see that. Look, this should be the WrestleMania match for
Mm-hmm.
next year. It should be for the world title,
Mm-hmm.
and it should be in the main event of at least night one.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I don't know if Punk is gonna win the world title from Gunther and Seb beats Punk or whatever, but this has the fuel to be a main event match for a WrestleMania for the world title. And I think the story that they can tell is that how Punk was saying like, hey, um, you had what I wanted and you don't have it no more. We're talking about the world title. Now you flip back into reverse where, hey, you have what I want, Punk, is the world title. And I'm gonna take it from you. So I think that'll be a great story to tell if they go down that route for WrestleMania.
No, I agree because I think all roads were leading to this match. There was a point for a second when I was starting to kind of lose interest in the match. This is what really reignited my interest. Is just there's a story to tell of, like Seth said, I've been thinking about you for months. I've been thinking about knocking you on your ass. And Punk's just like, well, I haven't been thinking about you at all. You had something I wanted, now you don't. You got nothing. And it's just like that's the thing about Punk is that when he talks and everything he says sounds genuine.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound scripted. It doesn't sound like a character. It sounds like something a person would say. And that's kind of the problem with a lot of wrestling promos is you know we're not doing any of the more I'm going to yell about everything in promos. Sometimes some people do that, but you have a lot of people that say things that just sound like they're either reading from a script or they're trying to be somebody they're not. Punk very much is like the last of the Mohegans of guys that speak from the heart and talk like an actual human being. Seth, I think this feud is going to bring out the best in Seth as far as promos goes because another story you can tell with Seth is that, he used to be a big fan of Punk and he got let down by Punk. Like that can be a good history lesson. It's kind of similar to MJF with that story where MJF was like, I was a fan of yours and then you left and you let me down. You can kind of do that with Seth, but maybe do it a little better. Maybe have it be more realistic, but I don't know. You can do that with this story. But afterwards, Seth gets on the mic and yells at Punk. Also yells at Jay Uso. Says, "You two, Jay, run along to Roman, y'all." Zayn said he gets that Rollins is angry, but he doesn't get to talk to Jay that way. Rollins said Zayn was right. He said he was pissed off and he shouldn't have gone there, but Jay's family, what's your excuse? Because you're not family, man. A Sammy Uso chant broke out. Rollins said he and Zayn were closer than Zayn has ever been with Reigns or Jay. Spoke about how they came up together. Zayn said he didn't ask to team with Punk. He said he didn't want to team with him, but he asked to help, and they were down a man. Zayn said he wanted Rollins to join the team, but he said no twice. He said they couldn't have teamed with Punk, but Rollins is just too damn stubborn. Rollins said Zayn wanted to team with Reigns so that monster could regain his power. Zayn reminded Rollins, which I thought was pretty good, where he said, "You're the one who created that monster when you hit him in the back with a steel chair 10 years ago." Um, Rollins said he understands what he did, and the chair shot was motivation for the tribal chief. He says he's apologized, but Zayn should also look in the mirror because he did the same thing at the Royal Rumble last year in San Antonio. He said he didn't blame Zayn for it because Reigns is the scum of the earth who treated Zayn and Jay like crap. Said Reigns has not changed. Asked if Reigns apologized to him or Jay, or even shown a hint of remorse, and called Zayn gullible and stupid. Zayn said Rollins is angry and has a lot of frustration in him, and then challenged him to a match later on tonight, which would have ended up being the main event. Um, yeah, we can kind of skip forward to the main event and talk about the New Day thing. So, um, before the main event, there was something that happened backstage. Jey Uso got attacked backstage. You weren't sure by who, which I kind of suspected who it was. And then the main event was Jey Uso, or not Jey Uso, Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins. Good match, really good match. You know, these two can obviously have a really good match with each other. With each other. Um, we'll kind of skip to the end. There was a spot in the match where Sami grabbed a steel chair, and Seth is yelling at Sami, is like, don't be angry at me. What about Punk? What about your boy? He probably did it. And then Seth rolls up Sami for the win. 1, 2, 3. As he's walking away, you see the close up of Sami, just looking very dejected and angry. All of a sudden, you hear the crowd start to kind of rise up and get more excited. Camera turns around, and it's Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is back since Hell in the Cell. Claymore, Sami, and that's how Raw ended. What were your thoughts on Drew McIntyre coming back?
Well, it's about time. You need to come back. Getting up towards Royal Rumble season, so glad he's returned. Now we see what he does. What's his motives?
What were your I guess let me kind of reverse the question. What do you do with Drew now that he's back?
I have
Like
no idea.
what's WrestleMania looking like for Drew?
Wade Barrett.
Eh, eh.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. What would you do with them?
I mean, in a perfect world, like that's the thing. I don't know. Like I would say, put him in something more meaningful. Like put him in a more high profile story.
With
Maybe
who?
do something with Gunther. Maybe do something. I don't know. Like I just don't want to see Wade Barrett. I like Wade Barrett more as an announcer than I did as a wrestler.
Well, I mean,
Um,
there's a story that's there that means something for the match. Would you be okay for a one-off match?
I'm fine with it, but I don't know. Just Drew McIntyre is he's the best he's been this whole year. If anyone's picking Drew McIntyre as the wrestler of the year, I wouldn't disagree. Um, I don't know. Like I was thinking something different. Like because I was thinking like, okay, if McIntyre comes back, put him on SmackDown. He has more fresher opponents. And I was thinking like maybe him and Nick Aldis.
Okay, that's fine too. I'm not opposed to that.
Like the story can be like, he's pissing off Nick Aldis, but Nick Aldis is like, you're not going to talk to me like I'm Adam Pierce. And Nick Aldis is already a big motherfucker in general. And he can still go. Like he's medically cleared. It's just they're keeping him as a GM. So that could be a match. But um I don't know. Like WrestleMania is like what 4 months from now. So
Yeah.
we're not even sure what the main event's going to be because usually we have a good idea on what the main event could be.
Well, we did. Well, we had an idea what the main event was gonna be for last year, but that got all changed up. Well, we still ended up getting it. What am I talking about? We still ended up getting it. I was really thinking about more of like the night one main event. We didn't know it was gonna be that tag team match for sure.
Right. But I mean, I guess this coming year or next year, obviously it looks like it's leading to Punk and Seth. Everybody else, like we don't know what Cody's gonna do. We don't know what Roman's gonna do. We don't even know if The Rock's gonna be involved. Um, or what Drew's gonna do. I don't know what Braun Breaker is gonna do. It's I like the fact that I don't know. I like to be surprised. I'll just leave it at that. But so New Day is the 10-year anniversary of the New Day. It's weird. It's crazy that it's been 10 years already. Um, I know they formed together. They had those random vignettes of them with like a church choir, which I'm like, okay. I think even before that, when they were like slowly forming together, they were kind of giving off the I guess the hint that they were going to be the new Nation of Domination or something like that. Which I remember Big E was like, ooh, I don't know about all that. And then they did, New Day, which uh, was it Big E had talked about. He grew up in a very strict, kind of, religious household where his dad actually was a preacher. So he had history in that. So, but yeah, 10 years later, they've been World Tag Team Champions more than once. Um, their merch sells. People still like the New Day. They were able to get a cereal over and pancakes and unicorn horns and they're individually they were able to have success. Big E became a world champion, um, a U.S. champion or continental champion. Kofi is a future Hall of Famer. He became WWE champion at WrestleMania with that a very memorable moment. It was a nice moment where he beat Daniel Bryan, and then Xavier Woods he won King of the Ring. That's still a big moment for him. So all three of them have had success. Um, so leading into this, there was the segment from last week where Xavier and Kofi are arguing in the back, which I thought was an amazing segment. Um, but leading to this, they get in the ring. Xavier Woods, said getting to this point is more than they could have dreamed of. Woods said they wanted to thank everyone. Kingston said it's been a hell of a ride. Um, fans call for Big E. Woods said they miss him too. Woods said what they were about to tell the fans is not their fault. And as they're about to deliver what we thought was going to be them going their separate ways, Big E comes out. His music plays, and it's nice to see Big E. I love Big E. Kind of looks like he slimmed down a little bit. He doesn't look as muscular, but it's nice to see him out there. Um, and then Big E told the fans he can't thank them enough. He says he wishes he was here under different circumstances. He said that seeing Kingston and Woods bickering and saying some of the most hurtful things imaginable to one another hurt his soul. He also talked about being in their lives, he recalled Kingston and Woods being at the hospital, making sure he was okay. He spoke about being in a neck brace when he held Kingston's child for the first time. He even contemplated retirement, and he brought up how him and Xavier Woods were close to being fired at one point. And then ended it with, so until I'm medically clear to return to the ring, I'm going to remind the two of you exactly who you are. And he said that he would be there every week as their manager. Which for a second I'm like, I kind of hope this isn't the end of the segment. But Woods was about to speak when a New Day Rocks, chant broke out, and then he goes, Now you want to come back. After you watch us fight for months, after you watch us argue to the edge of a cliff, and the last thing left to do is jump, and now you want to come back, E? You left us." And then, Big E talked about breaking his neck, and then Kofi Kingston cut him off. "Yeah, you broke your neck, so what? Stone
Fantastic.
Cold,
Love
Steve
it.
Austin, Kurt Angle, Edge, they
He
broke
said
their
it.
necks."
Hold on.
Go
Wait.
ahead.
He said it in a sense of like a big deal. Broke your neck. I don't give a like. Oh, okay, you broke your neck. Fucking, everyone breaks their necks and everyone comes back. It's hilarious. It's
Oh,
funny.
it hurt. The
I
fucked
I
up
I was laughing. I was shocked, but I was laughing.
the fucked up part about the segment is that everything he said was actually true.
Oh yes, justifies it. That's the best heel turns. It's kind of like like super villains, right? When they have a justify, kind of like Magneto. Magneto has a justified reason to being the way that he is. So
Exactly. He says Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, Edge broke their necks and they came back. He said those three didn't even have people to come back to.
Boom.
He said as strong as he is, and because he never actually had surgery, he was actually telling them that he couldn't have come back before. And then Big E said he was doing his best to get back. Woods said he tore his Achilles tendon off the bone and actually needed surgery, but he was back in 9 months for E. Kingston said if E actually cared about them, he would have came back a long time ago. Kingston said E chose his new life, his new girlfriend, and new stepchild before them. He said, "Do you even realize the burden that you've become?" Woods complained about fans saying everywhere saying we miss E. Woods said they also miss E, but E didn't miss them. Oh my God. Kingston said their philosophy from the start was about brotherhood. He said it was we before me. Kingston said, broken neck or not, Big E chose himself over him and Woods. Woods told E to stop teasing the people and speak the truth. You are never going to be medically cleared. Woods told E to get the hell out of the ring and then get back to his desk job where he belongs. He also told E that they would call him if they needed him. And afterwards, they cut to well, they zoom in on Kofi and Xavier, kind of like doing like the bro handshake and saying, "Now it's just us." And the fans booing, of course, and you just see a very dejected and heartbroken Big E. Um, again, that I was not expecting it. I I was expecting there to be some kind of heel turn. I was expecting maybe Xavier to like turn heel and possibly beat up Kofi and maybe even do something to Big E. But they really did swerve
Well,
us.
yeah, I mean, also maybe even Kofi as well, because he kind of teased on, you know, on going as well. But I'll be honest, like I didn't see this particular thing coming. However, if we go back in hindsight, it's like, oh, of course that was gonna happen. You know what I mean? If you look back at everything, so because Biggie was never there. Like it always felt like why would Biggie would never show up and try to like calm these guys down or anything like that. So I thought it was perfect. It's probably gonna go down as the best segment of the year. One of the best segments in the last decade, I want to say. Um, from WWE, and this made everyone re-interested in the New Day again. This is the most interesting the New Day has ever been. Um, and I mean, not to say that they were never bad, that they were never good or anything. I mean, they're one of the the best ever. But as far as story is concerned, this is the most that they have ever been interesting. But I'm gonna throw out two things here.
Mm,
And this is what I feel.
mm,
Right now, the tag team division on Raw and SmackDown, clearly, but mostly Raw hasn't really been doing well. Finn Balor and JD McDonough have not been defending those fucking titles for shit, right? I see at some point Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston getting those titles back
right,
before WrestleMania. I think Big E is on his way back. He may
right.
come back to the Royal Rumble. That'll be a great Rumble spot where you have Xavier and Kofi in the ring, and Big E comes out, and that'll be a moment right there, right? I don't know who could be on the opposite side of this, but can we see a tag team title match at WrestleMania with the New Day of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods versus Big E and a tag team partner of his own?
Hmm.
That would be great. You know why? Because I don't think Big E's ready to do full singles matches yet, right? When Daniel Bryan came back, or Bryan Danielson came back, he was in a tag team match at WrestleMania, if you remember, right? Before
Right.
to get his feet back, his feet wet back underneath him. Edge wasn't in a tag team match, but it was a pandemic WrestleMania. But also as well, it was a brawl that lasted like 80 minutes or however long that fucking match was with Orton.
Uh,
Um, but I can see something with Biggie picking a tag team partner. Who is that? I don't know. Maybe that was gonna be Odyssey Jones.
hmm.
Maybe that was the direction. Maybe that was gonna be the direction with Odyssey Jones. And you know what I mean? But we don't know now. But I can see them doing something with that. Or this is a long shot, very long shot. I I honestly, I mean, I don't want to say I don't want to see this happen because I don't want to see the moment. I think the moment would be fantastic, tremendous, whatever, right? But I just don't think it's I don't think as far as the storyline's concerned is really going to like it doesn't help the story of what's going on here. They could do Big E versus Gunther for the world
Hmm.
title. Don't
Hmm.
want to see that just because it doesn't really fit with
No.
Kofi and Xavier Woods, right? But maybe him winning the world title is like, oh well, I did it by myself, and now I'll bring the New Day back together, and it'll be like their baby faces again, the New Day's back. But I think I'm more in for the tag team title match. I think that'll be a better way of telling a great story going into WrestleMania. Who's Big E's tag team partner? I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know who they can bring up that will make sense. I don't want to see anyone like Carmelo or Trick Williams in that situation. Because quite frankly, to me, I think they're more better off as singles, right?
Right.
So I think they need to kind of figure that out, and I'm pretty sure they will. I'm pretty sure they got something up their sleeve for sure.
That definitely been an interesting idea. Because that kind of seems like a WrestleMania match is, Big E versus his former friends in the New Day. Um, yeah, I can't even think of a tag team partner. I mean, definitely. If you want to kind of rebuild this New Day, uh, get those tag team titles on them, get them off of the Judgment Day, just please. They've had those like for what over 100 days, and they've only defended it twice. So get them on there. And yeah, Big E, I do actually think Big E is cleared. They just want to build towards it. They want a special moment. And what better than the Rumble? What better than the Rumble of Big E's music hits and he takes out his former friends? So, I mean, for all we know, maybe they might just do like I don't know, they might even do a handicap match for all we know. I don't know, but a tag team match seems like the safer way to go for Big E because by this point, he would have been out of wrestling for 3 years. And when you're a guy like Big E, who's as big as you are, being out for that long, it's smart to do a just a tag team match. That's the safest way to go. But all right, as for the rest of Raw, let's go through this quick. Um, where the hell am I? Oh yeah, Damage Control versus Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez. Rodriguez and Morgan won. Force. They also announced that Saturday night's main event next week on December 14th. It will be Liv Morgan versus Io Sky, along with Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the WWE Championship, and also Gunther versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship. So should be a good show. And then you had the tournament for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, which kind of like the U.S. Tournament, it's going to be triple threat matches leading to a finals match. The first round was Dakota Kai versus Katana Chance versus Shayna Baszler. Dakota Kai won. Decent match. People were happy to see Dakota Kai. So
Yeah,
I'm not, I'm
I
not,
am.
I'm not, not saying that condescendingly. I like Dakota Kai. I like her music though. I like it. I haven't heard a theme in a long time. When I heard that theme, I was like, "Ooh, we're back." So good for Dakota Kai. Again, I like the fact that Raw has their Intercontinental Championship, and obviously SmackDown has theirs. Also, with the new show heading into Netflix, and more than likely it's going back to 3 hours. You need that hour for more content. Essentially, and with these new titles, that gives you that chance to kind of spread out the roster. So, we already talked about the New Day. We had Gunther versus Dominic, which happened after Gunther confronted Finn Balor and then told him, well, technically Dominic has a pinfall victory over Damian Priest, so I'm going to pick Dominic. And they had a match, and it was a good match, pretty good match overall. Good to see Dominic when he has matches. Lately it just feels like he's just the guy in the back. But yeah, he shows that he can go with the best of him. Best of him, including Gunther. And Gunther got the win. And then afterwards, Finn attacked Gunther. And the whole time he's, telling Dom, watch me, basically. R-Truth versus Pete Dunne. R-Truth got the win. And that was pretty much Raw. Good Raw. Very good Raw. Sets up the Rumble. Possibly sets up Mania. But let's go to NXT. which was always Tuesday. Women's Iron Survivor Challenge Last Chance match. You had Ren Sinclair, Kalani Jordan, Cora Jade, and Jada Parker. I thought this was a nice match. I thought this was a pretty good opener.
Speaking of
And
Ren Sinclair, I saw a picture of her at RCW last year. It seemed like it seems like it was so long ago with her and some of the locals. So it's like
yeah,
crazy.
the Cholas, right?
But yeah, I'm surprised you even know that. Yeah.
Well, the picture literally said Cholas.
Well, I was like, I'm surprised you even in the know, but yeah, yeah. So it was her and really Calientita that's there in the picture. So
Nice. Didn't you say that girl like she goes to your shop?
yeah, that's my
Okay.
little sis.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Ren. Yeah, she's come through San Antonio, so we claim her as our own. So, Ren got the win after a spot with Jada Parker where she's going for a finish, and then she sees Lola Vice on the up on the apron. Lola Vice throws a punch. Jada ducks. She ends up hitting Ren. Ren falls on Cora Jade, and Cora Jade gets not Cora Jade. I'm sorry, Ren gets the win by pinning Cora Jade. So now Ren is in the Iron Survivor women's match.
Hell
For the,
yeah.
so good for Ren. I didn't expect Ren to win. I had a feeling Lola was going to come out and cost Jada the win. Didn't think Cora was going to win. I was thinking Kalani was going to win, but I guess this looks like it's setting up a possible heel turn for Kalani. What do you think?
Mm,
Or character change? I
I
don't know.
mean, I don't think I certainly see that yet, but we'll see.
So, but
I think you're really just speaking into existence at this point.
right. But Ren got the win. Good for Ren. That's our girl Ren. Um, Afterwards, did this happen afterwards? Jada was pissed off. Jada comes out. It's kind of funny because she's telling the referees, let's have this underground match now, and then she's yelling at the ref, and you can hear her as clear as day. I'm not gonna say it obviously, but she says, and do you hear me? And it's just like she had her Booker T moment. So she gets in the ring and tells Jada, "Get your ass out here." Um, not Jada tells Lola, "Get your ass out here," and then Ava tells Jada, "You want your underground match? You can have it this Saturday." And then she ends up knocking out Lola Vice. So cool segment. All right, number one contender tag team battle royal. You had no quarter catch crew, Hank and Tank, OTM, and am I missing anybody? I know there's a few other. Oh yeah, the family, Shanning and oh god, what's his name? The lawyer,
Luca Crisafino.
Luca Cristofino, and there's two other guys. I'm blanking on their name. Tyreek Igwe, and who's the other dude?
I don't know. I don't know. Do you have it up?
I do, and I can't find the freaking name to save my life. And oh yeah, Gallus. There you go, Gallus. Tyson DuPont. That's the guy. Yeah, this is a fun match. This is a really fun battle royal. The rules being that if one of you gets eliminated, the other guy has to represent his team. So both you have to get eliminated, which makes sense. Um, I thought it was an entertaining battle royal. I was kind of thinking that they were going to give it to Hank and Tank, just because they're popular, people like them. And then for a second, it looked like OTM was going to win. Because who's the big dude in OTM? Bronco Lima.
Yeah, Bronco Nima. Yeah.
Yeah, he looked really impressive out there. He looked really good out there. But in the
Yeah,
end, no.
that's the one from the group I said that has a great potential as far as being a breakout star.
Yeah, he is, and not for nothing, he's also dating Lola Vice, so he's got that.
Yep.
He's got that going for him.
Oh yeah, well, I'm talking about his in-ring stuff.
It's still impressive, but yeah, he is very good in the ring. He has potential. Um, I just again, it's just like OTM has kind of grown on me. Um, I kind of hope it doesn't become a thing of like and again, this isn't a knock on Jada. Jada's obviously become the bigger star out of the group, but I like Bronco Lima. I think he has, yeah, I think he has something in the future, and Lord knows the NXT main event scene needs it. They need another star. Um, but yeah, nonetheless, Jesus Christ, no quarter catch crew. That's a tongue twister. Ended up winning, so good for them because I like them too. I like Tavion Heights and I like Miles. So they have a tag team title shot this Saturday against Fraxium, so that should be fun. Yeah, they really actually did give a lot to no quarter catch crew this on this show because Ren's getting a opportunity for a title shot, and then you have Miles and Tavion.
Yeah,
So
I mean, they've been putting in work. I think they deserve a little bit more shine. So I'm glad that they're getting it.
yeah, good for them. Good for them. Next is Eric Bischoff comes out and mediates a segment between Ridge Holland and Trick Williams. Good to see Eric. I like Eric Bischoff.
Oh, well,
Um,
last time he was on TV? Was it like doing like one of the Raw anniversary shows, or was it like
yeah,
something, or was it like something in AEW?
it was Raw. It was Raw. It was in the draft. He came
Oh yeah,
out
that's right. That's
on the
right.
Raw draft,
That's right.
and yeah, on AEW he did that bit with Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho. That's the last time he was on AEW television. But not sure why he was needed on this segment. I get why. I guess with NXT they want to bring in names of yesteryear to kind of gauge interest, to get some ratings, maybe to pop a rating. I haven't seen the ratings yet, but we'll get to that in a bit. But again, it's always nice to see Eric. But he just came out and talked, and then he just disappeared in the back. Um, to kind of hype up both men. Eventually, they got into a fight. Ridge, quote unquote, broke Trick Williams' neck or hurt his neck to kind of, I guess, add more suspense for this Saturday. Um, so there's that. And then, according to Ava, Trick is still adamant about showing up this Saturday. But anywho, uh, what's next? What's next? Yeah, Carmen Petrovich versus Nikita Lyons. Uh, kind of surprised Petrovich got the win. Because they really, I don't know, with Lyons, it seems like they kind of like stop and start or push. Not sure why, but it's good to see Petrovich get a win. Good to see, like, I guess new faces, fresher faces, kind of get more of a spotlight. And Adonis still trying to pursue Carmen. Carmen turns him down, so good for her. Um, let's see. Yeah, Gigi Dolan versus Izzy Dame. Haven't seen Izzy Dame in a while. Izzy Dame, she's been doing TNA tapings, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Good to see Gigi back. She's been out for a while. She got her win.
Yeah, coming back
There's
from a
a,
torn ACL.
I mean, it's always ACL off the bone. I don't know about all that, but uh, I guess there's a story to tell with Sean Spears where he's keeping his eye on Gigi. Not sure where that's going. There was even kind of a funny bit where Tatum was like, "That guy is creepy," and that's coming from me. So, men's Iron Survivor Challenge, last chance qualifier. You had Eddie Thorpe versus Lexus King, Axiom, and Cedric Alexander. This is pretty fun. Another fun match. Um, everyone it was pretty much an everybody got their shit in type of situation. I was kind of thinking King, but for I guess for storyline purposes, they were going to go with Thorpe, especially last week when he inadvertently knocked Ava down and tried to help her up, and then Shawn Michaels shoves him, against the steel door, and they're still came into the match. By the way, he didn't get suspended, but Eddie Thorpe gets the win. Now he's going to be in the men's Iron Survivor match, or so we think. And then there's a backstage segment with Javon Evans meeting X-Pac. So another endorsement by a former legend on Javon Evans. All right. And and the show ends with Roxanne Perez meeting potential challengers for Deadline and ends in a brawl. And then depending on where you were, the show cut off towards the end because you can hear Vic Joseph telling Booker, "There's something going on in the back," and you see Eddie Thorpe laying on the ground, which is which is a way to keep him out of the match, but also to prolong his heel turn. But overall, who do you think it is that knocked out Eddie Thorpe?
I don't know. I have no clue.
I asked that. Let me kind of backtrack a little bit. So before the final segment, you saw somebody walk into the office with Robert Stone and Stevie Turner, and you just see their eyes glow up like, holy shit. So they didn't emphasize on who that was. Logically, it's more than likely going to be Obafemi
Could be, yeah.
because we haven't seen Oba in a while. But why would their eyes light up if it's Oba? Because it's like, well, they know who Oba is. They've seen
Well,
Oba.
I mean, he's a big son of a bitch, and he's probably pissed off.
Probably.
Or maybe has a new look.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Someone pointed something out where I'm like, it's probably never going to happen. But let's just say, for example, Ava's dad decided to show up to NXT and take revenge on the man that attacked her daughter. Who's Ava's dad, you may ask? You know I'm fucking with you, Rich.
I don't know who these people are, but they should not be watching wrestling if they think The Rock is going to be at fucking NXT.
I just wanted to fuck with you. I'm sorry. Okay, it's not Dwayne. I promise you, it's not Dwayne. Dwayne's not gonna show up to NXT.
I don't think anyone listening to this or watching this is thinking it's going to be The Rock.
I couldn't say that with a straight face at all. But odds are it's gonna be Obafemi. Obafemi's gonna show up, and that's that. But that was NXT. What'd you think about NXT?
It was a fine show, as always. That was very fun.
Yes, sir. I hate to even ask you this. Did you watch Dynamite?
Now, we'll continue. Let's go on to the next thing.
Okay. NXT Deadline is going to be this Saturday. It's going to be in Minneapolis, Minnesota at the Minneapolis Armory. Last I checked, it's a damn near sold out. So cool. They booked a smaller venue, which is smart. There's 5 matches, which, is always the way to go. All right. So Lola Vice versus Jada Parker in an NXT Underground match.
I'm gonna go Lola.
Go with Lola too. That seems like Lola's match. She's an ex MMA girl. She finally has her own gimmick match, kind of like, Taker. Was it Taker had Hell in a Cell, or no? Taker had a casket match. Everybody else had their own gimmick match that they won most of the time. So Lola has the underground match, so she's gonna win. Should be a fun match. This almost kind of seems like NXT's own version of Hell in a Cell, where it's the big blow off feud.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? Tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Fraxium versus No Quarter Catch Crew.
It just depends on when the men's Iron Survivor Challenge is going to be at for me to give a prediction. I don't have a prediction for this match.
Vic Joseph, he said right before the show went off the air, this is more than likely going to close the show, where he's talking about the women's Iron Survivor. So I think the women's Iron Survivor match might close the show. So if that's the case, if the men's are the ones that open the show,
it's going to close the show.
according to him, he said that on NXT.
Well, I don't know. It's going to close the show.
I mean, the women in NXT are more interesting than the
It's
men.
deep. I mean, I'm not gonna be mad if it closes the show, but like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, if it closes the show, it's fair, but like, I just don't. I wouldn't be. I would just close it with Trick Williams or Ridge Holland, but that's the title match.
Yeah, probably. But like you said, depending on match placement, which I think for storyline purposes, this should take place after the men's, just to kind of tell that
Yeah, oh
story
yeah,
of
either that. So it could be either that, or it could be like, hey, the men's Iron Survivor opens the show. Then like the last match uh before the main event, the co-main event could be the tag team title match. It really just depends. It really
right.
it just either way. I think I'm still gonna go with Nathan Frazier and Axiom. But like if they like tell a story, because they could tell a story to where it's like, oh, they lost the titles due to Frazier, not being 100%.
That's
Because it
that's
would be
I think
really stupid if they do the tag team title match first, then they do the Iron Survivor after that. I wouldn't like that at all.
I think it makes sense for the Iron Survivor to open the show, or just be before.
At least before
Um,
this match,
it makes sense. It tells a better
to
story.
me at least. But
But I guess depending on match placement, I'm gonna say if this is before the Iron Survivor men's, Praxium wins. If this is after, no Quarter Catch Crew wins. So, what about you?
I'm going with Frazier and Axiom, regardless.
All right.
But
Uh,
I mean, but at this point though, like I feel like they should, um, I feel like they should drop the titles to start off to kickstart this feud because I could definitely see something for them at Stand and Deliver for
right,
sure. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
right. NXT Championship: Trick Williams versus Ridge Holland.
Rick Williams.
Right. Yeah, they want to tell that story of it's Trick Williams 100%, but he's still gonna win. Like Ridge Holland, he's doing much better work in NXT, but they're not gonna give it to Ridge Holland. Like no, 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 no. They're keeping it on Trick. Women's Iron Survivor Challenge to determine an NXT Women's Championship match or number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship at New Year's Evil. Soruka, Stephanie Vakor, Zarya, Julia, and Ren Sinclair.
Got Zarya.
Go with Zarya. She pinned Roxanne, so she's gonna be first in line or next in line, however you want to spin it.
Got Zarya. I don't think they want to do Stephanie yet. I don't think they want to do Julia yet. I think Zarya will be the first one up.
Yes, sir. Men's Iron Survivor Challenge to determine number contender for the NXT Championship at New Year's Evil. Wesley, Javon Evans, Nathan Frazier, Ethan Page, and Eddie Thorpe. Or
Whoever,
Eddie Thorpe might not show up.
whoever replaces Eddie Thorpe is gonna win.
Obafemi.
There you go.
Right, so
And then that'll be your new NXT champion.
that's NXT Deadline. This Saturday, I won't be available to do a show. It's my brother's birthday,
Okay.
and well, his birthday's technically Friday, but they're gonna do something for him on Saturday, so
Yeah,
I
of
won't
course.
won't be available to do a show. Um, would you be interested in doing a show with just you and Jeff?
I'm probably gonna be going out after the show.
Okay, so you want to just save it for the next week?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right, that's fine with me. Hey, just saying hi to the wife. But yeah, that's NXT Deadline. So, what the fuck? Let's do some ratings, and then we can jump into news. All right, so where did we last leave off? All right, so Friday Night SmackDown. Oh no, yeah, Friday Night SmackDown. No, 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 that's not where we're at. All right, AEW Dynamite from last week or from last Wednesday. All right, so let's do that. From last Wednesday. No, I'm like way the fuck off. 'Cause 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 I'm like way the Okay, so I'm sorry, people. Oh yeah, Dynamite last Wednesday. Okay, that was the 27th. Okay, my bad. Drew a 536 and .15 the ratings. The week previously, they drew a 640 and a .20, so they were down. Friday Night SmackDown,
Well,
which
I
was
mean, and all, not to protect AEW, but it was the day before Thanksgiving, so it was expected to be really down on that. So
Friday Night SmackDown, which was the SmackDown before Survivor Series, drew a 1.341 and a .40 in the demo. The week prior, they were 1.578 and a .46 in the demo, so they went down. And
that
then,
was the day after Thanksgiving,
yeah, Black Friday.
and pre-tape too, not to mention.
Yep. And then Monday Night Raw, after Survivor Series, drew a 1.709 in the ratings and a .54 in the demo. The week prior, they were 1.510 and a .47 in the demo, so they had an increase in the rating and also the demo. So good for them.
Yep.
Do you have any news?
I do not.
Okay, I have some news. Josh Alexander confirms he'll be a free agent soon. He was on the Insight podcast with Chris Van Fleet, and he mentioned that February 15th he will be a free agent. So literally the day after Valentine's Day. I believe you and me talked about this the last time.
Yep.
Do you see where do you see Josh Alexander going?
I don't know. We'll have to see what he wants to do.
Right.
But he's gonna make money, which he deserves it. So
Yeah. I mean, he can get a big payday from Tony, or he can come to WWE. That kind of seems like, as far as like, making money and being a star. And I mean, he seems like a dedicated family man at the end of the day, but he also seems like somebody who takes his craft seriously. And him coming to NXT and reforming, the North with Ethan Page seems like a cool idea. Again, they also need more tag teams up there. So good for Josh. Another free agent deal. Gunther close to signing a new deal with WWE. According to PW Insider, the 37-year-old has either completed discussions or already signed a new contract. He's currently in the final stages of signing a new multi-year deal with WWE. So Gunther about to get paid as well. Netflix news. Actually, no. WWE Saturday Night. WWE Saturday Night's main event is officially set for January the 25th in San Antonio, Texas. It'll be on NBC in San Antonio's Frost Springs Center on January the 25th. Tickets for the show will go on sale Friday, December 13th, one day before Saturday Night's main event this month in Uniondale, New York. A pre-sale will begin on Wednesday, December 11th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Central Time. Hold on. My cat needs to get out. But yeah, tickets go on sale next week. So, will you be going?
no, I'll be working.
Okay. But are you excited at least?
Yeah, I'm always excited when they come to San Antonio.
Nice.
What about you? What are you going? Are you excited? Like, what's your predictions?
I'm excited and I would love to go. Hopefully, again, I don't like to make promises, but I
You
would
should
like to go.
go. Should go.
No. I want to go. We want to go. Me and the missus, we just need to get the tickets.
Yeah, make it happen. Make it happen. Enjoy the time out.
Yes, sir. We are trying. We will definitely be trying. All right. Uncertainty surrounds The Rock's WWE WrestleMania 41 status. Fightful has shared an update on The Rock's status for WWE's biggest pay-per-view of the event of 2025. According to the report, people within WWE were skeptical, but several individuals indicated that creative plans were being developed based on the belief that The Rock would not be part of WrestleMania 41. The report further highlights that this remains a realistic notion, quote unquote, with the understanding that circumstances may change concerning Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Concerning The Rock, similar to his recent appearance at Bad Blood earlier this month. The Rock's participation in the pay-per-view event was reportedly intended to get him on camera without any significant storyline or direction that WWE aimed to advance. WWE was allegedly unaware that The Rock would show up at the event until the week prior, which is purportedly why the Drew McIntyre CM Punk Hell in the Cell match opened the show instead of closing it. The Rock was around all day at the event and arrived at the venue in a clear view in his truck before it started. Moreover, The Rock has a hectic Hollywood schedule. He recently finished filming a live-action adaptation of Moana, where he return as Maui. Furthermore, Cody Rhodes versus The Rock filmed something during the premiere of Moana 2. Details on whether it will be released remain unknown. So, any thoughts on that?
Rock will be at WrestleMania in some fashion.
Do you think it's going to be him and Cody, or if you
I
had to?
don't. I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling he'll be at WrestleMania in some fashion. It's in Vegas. Like he needs to make it happen.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the night after WrestleMania, The Rock, did that bit with Cody where he gave him something, and then Cody
Wasn't
looked at it.
wasn't 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 the same thing kind of like last year? Where, like these reports were coming last year, like Rock ain't making a WrestleMania. Then it like changed.
Right. You can't. I mean, obviously, it's kind of been proven you can't trust. You can't trust Fightful. You can't trust Dave Meltzer. You can't really trust any of these dirt sheet writers.
Well, it's not about trusting them. It's what they're being. I always say it's what they're being told. It's not like a lot of these are not just making out of thin air. Well, maybe Meltzer is on some stuff, but like a lot of them is like as we're told. So it's like people get mad at these dirt sheets for I guess giving out information from what they're being told from their sources, right? Are their sources legit or not? That's the other issue, right? This is what they're being told. Being told and being told and actually what to believe is two completely different things. Like I understand that's what they're being told, but I personally don't believe what they're being told is correct, right? So yeah, you know what I mean. But again, they're just reporting on what they're being told at the end of the day. It's kind of like you and me having a confidential conversation, and I tell you one thing, and I could be lying to you, but you're gonna go out there and say, well, Justin told me this, and it could be something I could be completely lying to you. So who knows? Whoever's giving these dirt sheet writers or sources this information could be completely lying to them about The Rock.
Right. And we've had these kind of conversations before where, for all we know, Triple H is feeding them, is like maybe talking off key while someone's listening, and then this certain person goes to Dave Meltzer, or I don't know, like Triple H is purposely giving them bad information. Same thing with Dwayne, same thing with everybody else. So, speaking of Dwayne, Moana 2 is currently a box office success. It's currently standing at $404.5 million in the box office. It actually broke a Thanksgiving weekend release, so good for them. The movie, from what I heard, is not that good, but it's making money, so that's really all that matters. Like I mentioned, he just filmed his scenes for the live action Moana. I think he already finished with the Fighting Machine, which is the A24 flick about Mark Kerr. So I
It
kind of like how
is isn't it about his uncle Nick?
I'm not saying that.
All right, fair enough.
That's a really different film. But no, it's the fighting. It's about an ex-MMA fighter. It's a documentary about. From what I heard, it's pretty good. But yeah, The Rock's doing an A24 film, so his schedule will be busy next year. I don't doubt that. Um, but like you said, I think he will be involved at Mania in some form or fashion. As far as like wrestling, maybe SummerSlam. I can see that happening more than likely the next year of Mania and Mania 42. So we'll see. Nick Khan. They had a meeting at Netflix headquarters on Tuesday to promote Netflix premiering on January the 6th. And he assured that WWE programming will remain family friendly. He said, "We're not changing the rating of our programming. There's some online chatter about, oh, it's going to be rated R. And for us old folks, like X rated. That's definitely not happening. So it's family friendly, multi generational, advertiser friendly programming. It's going to stay that way. I would look for more global flair, especially as the relationship with Netflix continues to develop." And what else did he say? He basically just said you're going to see more of that in 2025. Any thoughts on that statement?
No, nothing really shocking there.
Right. I'm fine with it. WWE is the hottest it's ever been. Financially. It's before it was WWE was making money in spite of themselves. Now they're making money and they're putting on a better product. They're selling out every show, every pay-per-view, every TV taping, and most of the time people are just going there so they can watch people talk, which that's why they're making money. They're bringing back stars. So they definitely don't need to go rated R or TV-14 or whatever. Because lately they have been pushing the envelope. They have been being edgy without having to go full frontal, so to speak. And NXT does it. NXT pushes the boundaries. NXT is very, what's the word? Ambiguous when it comes to how sexual they be and how edgy they are. WWE does the same thing. WWE, they just had Hell in a Cell and they had blood. The Rock comes out and The Rock does whatever he wants and says, and says fuck. So, and Roman Reigns, he said the same thing where he was like, we don't need to be over the top. We don't need to be too edgy and violent and cuss and say fuck or whatever. Because at the end of the day, kids still watch the product. But again, you can still push the boundaries and be as edgy as you possibly can be without, I guess, without, trying to alienate your audience, if that makes sense.
Right.
But, yeah, that was that. And then lastly, Triple H says Pat McAfee is set to return full time to WWE. I can't find the statement. He just said he's dying to come back. Pretty much.
Cool.
Pretty much. I guess. Is he doing the Super Bowl or is he just doing college football?
College football.
Okay. So it'll be nice to see Pat back.
He'll be back. He'll be back in about a month and a half.
Right. And yeah, he'll be on Raw. It'll be him and him and Michael Cole will be Raw. What's his name? I forget it. I'm blanking on his name right now. Tessitore and I believe Corey Graves will be SmackDown.
Yep.
So there you go.
Well, no, they're gonna. Well, yeah, it'll be. I think it's gonna be Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore on SmackDown.
Okay.
Then
So
on Raw, Corey Graves, Pat McAfee, Michael Cole.
I don't know. I didn't think they were going to do 3-man teams anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean that's why I think I may be wrong, but that's what I think is gonna happen. I mean, who would you take out? You'll just get rid of Wade Barrett on commentary?
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't think Wade Barrett's bad on commentary. I think he's actually pretty
so
good.
where will Wade Barrett go then?
He can just do the pre-show.
I don't think he wants to just do the pre-show.
I mean, it's not about what he wants. It's about what Nick Khan or Triple H wants. Well, but again, who knows? Who knows?
I mean, I think Wade Barrett is pretty damn good at what he does. I mean, I think taking him out off of commentary is doing a disservice.
Right. Last story I want to bring up. It's kind of a nothing burger, but just thought we'd talk about it. It's a story that just literally came up today. So Fightful, another story from Fightful, has obtained a document sent to AEW HR and execs by Ryan Nemeth, the brother of Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler,
Jesus Christ.
where he outlines a timeline of abuse he claims he experienced while CM Punk was still with the company. Nemeth takes issue with AEW and a member of their legal department, ignoring him and pleading throughout the process and after. The outline notes that Nemeth doesn't take as much issue with Punk as he did AEW allegedly ignoring his communication that he would be silently fired, quote unquote, due to Punk confronting him. Basically, I remember this story, and I remember this story happening, and this was, I think, either the same week or before the Jack Perry incident, where basically when Punk came back on Collision that same night, Ryan Nemeth put out a tweet saying literally the softest man alive. And Punk confronted Nemeth in the locker room and basically just told him, do we have a problem? Do you want to settle this? And then Ryan said no, and then it was just left alone after that. Um, and then, blah blah blah. We know what happened after that. Shortly after Ryan, either he left on his own accord or he was fired. He claims he was fired. And so it seems like it's a nothing story. It really does seem like a nothing story. I I don't know how you feel about it personally. Like, do you have any thoughts on this?
No. Happened over a year ago. It doesn't matter to me what that. It it's irrelevant. Punk's in WWE now. Ryan Nemeth is not in
Yeah.
AEW anymore. All it really says to me is that AEW is running a sloppy shop, and that they want a pro wrestling company, and then you got someone there who doesn't know how to run a pro wrestling company. But what's new in the statement I just said that we didn't know already?
Yeah, you're
It's
right.
nothing. So I mean, I don't really care.
And all in all, Ryan Nemeth talked shit on the internet, got confronted, and put in his place.
Well, I mean, Punk is in the wrong too as well. I mean, you can't. Two wrongs don't make a right. So,
Right.
not picking sides or anything, but it's like, there should have been both ways. Ryan never should have been talking shit. CM Punk should have handled it better. Period.
Yeah. All in all, this just makes AEW look worse. This just throws more gasoline on the fire.
It does. It really doesn't. Because we already knew about this since last year. It's again to me. I'm like, it's like this stuff that we already knew already. It's like, I mean,
Right.
whatever.
Yep. And that's pretty much it for the news. Um, let's do some this day in wrestling history, and then we can call it a night. There's really not a lot. This day in wrestling history in 2004, Macho Man Randy Savage wrestled his first and only match for TNA at the Turning Point pay-per-view. Sadly, it would also be his final ever professional wrestling match in a six-man tag team match. Savage teamed with Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles to face Jeff Jarrett, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Okay. Also on the card, Team Canada, Eric Young and Bobby Roode beat Three Live Crew, Ron Killings and BG James to win the NWA World Tag Team Championships. 2005, Eric Bischoff's reign as the general manager of Raw came to an end after 3.5 years in the position. A mock trial by Vince McMahon ended with John Cena dumping Bischoff in the back of a garbage truck to mark his big farewell as a full-time character in the WWE. I remember that. That was a fun segment.
Yeah, it was.
2009, TNA Wrestling announced that Hulk Hogan would debut for the company on January the 7th, 2010, on the same night that Impact would move from its Tuesday night slot to go head-to-head with Monday Night Raw. Surprised I didn't mention this. 2009, 15 years to the day, was when Umaga passed away.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, Umaga, he had 2 heart attacks in his sleep. And WWE didn't even acknowledge it. They talked about it on their website, but The reason being that was when Lyndon McMahon was running for Senate. I think it was Senate or
And it
something
was
like that.
still fresh with the Benoit situation too. I mean, it was only been a little bit over 2 years removed from that. So
But yeah, 15 years later, yeah, Umaga's legacy still lives on. If you ask the Usos, the Usos will tell you Umaga saved their life. He's the one that got them into WWE. Um, their Uncle Eddie, as they called him, Rikishi's brother. Um, you have Solo, who's using the Samoan Spike, and then you have his son Zilla Fatu, who's doing a great job in the Indies, and pretty soon he might show up in the WWE. So, but how would you rate Umaga's legacy?
um, very, very, very great at the time during the Ruthless Aggression era. Always enjoyed his work.
Same here. Like he was a guy that, you know, if you're talking about a lot of the guys in that era, like John Cena and Edge and Triple H, yeah, he's a guy you can easily put up there. Like that's someone that I was surprised never won the title. Like you could have at least given him maybe like a month long run with the title, but they were so transfixed on John Cena being that guy. And then you also had Edge, you also had Triple H, and it's just like he was essentially fighting for real estate. And
Right.
he was one of the very few, like, I guess you can call original homegrown stars during that time that got himself over.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
and him and Amaro Estrada.
yes, sir. And then he was also in the infamous billionaires versus billionaire match. Where he was Team Vince McMahon versus Bobby Lashley on Team Trump. So future two-time president Donald Trump, mind you.
God
Right.
help us all.
God help us all. Yes, sir. 2018 was also when the Dynamite Kid passed away at the age of 60 in his home of Wigan. The exact cause of death was never confirmed publicly. Um, any thoughts on that?
He's lived through today through his son, who's wrestling in AEW and Ring of Honor. So
Right. And then notable wrestling birthdays. Dynamite Kid, he actually did pass away on his birthday. Larry Zabisco and
living legend.
yes, sir, and Adrian Street.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, that's this day in wrestling history. We're done, people. We got a lot done in under an hour and a half, actually over an hour and a half. But yeah, we had a nice little show tonight.
That was fun.
Um, yes, sir. It was fun. We got everything. We got everything out. We got everything out of the way that need to get out of the way. And what else? What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, yeah. It looks like we're not gonna do a show this Saturday for the deadline. We'll just save it for next week, just so I guess we have more content to talk about. But
There you go.
anyways, people, don't forget the year-end show will be on the 27th, which will
Yeah.
be a Friday. Uh,
Should we do a Q&A for that
I
as
w-
well?
you read my mind. I was actually just gonna say that. So
Q&A and the like the awards or whatever.
yes, sir. So people, since we essentially stopped doing the Q&A show, um, we're gonna do a Q&A at the end of the year. So get in your questions, as many questions as you possibly can. Nothing is off limits. It can be wrestling related. It can be holidays related. It can be anything related. Questions that you've always wanted to ask me and Justin that you never had the chance to. Go ahead and ask us, but make it fun. We always say that, make it fun. And of course, we're going to do our year-end awards. So
I
we're
think
going to
they
talk
are for the
about
most part. Yeah.
where we're going to talk about the best, or I guess our opinion. It's just our opinions on what we thought was the best and the worst of the year of wrestling. Um, I'm gonna send you my list pretty soon. Yeah, just favorite wrestler, least favorite wrestler, women's, men's, favorite match, least favorite match. Um, that's basically it. And yeah, it's a nice way to close out the show or close out the year actually of 2024. And yeah, it's like what's today? The 4th, so like another 3 weeks. So time goes by quick, people. But
Mhm.
anyways, as usual, I want to thank Justin for making the show work the way it does. Thank you, sir. And
Absolutely.
I defer to you. Tell the people about Spinebuster Tees.
You guys know where to find me, spinebustertees.com. Go on there, get yourself a t-shirt. Great designs on there for you to support me on what I do and how I want pro wrestling fans to express themselves with design t-shirts that I have at Spinebuster Tees. You can visit me. Also, Spinebuster Tees on Instagram. Follow me on there. I'm always getting great new things in my shop. Got a lot of new exciting things coming to my shop in the next coming weeks. So be on the lookout for that. Spinebuster Tees at Wonderland of the Americas. My physical location, that is the prime retail location where you obviously get yourself a t-shirt, socks, wrestling keychains, obviously action figures and Funko Pops, trading cards, DVDs, magazines, autographs. I have it all in my shop. Come visit, come visit. Just had a great Black Friday weekend as well. I was doing 15% off everything. It was very good. It was very good weekend for myself, and a lot of people came who I haven't seen in a while. Nice conversations, fun times, laughs, and all that stuff. So it's always good uh, to commingle with your customer base. So, but that's Spinebuster Tees at the Wonderland of the Americas here in San Antonio, Texas. Spinebuster Tees on Instagram. Follow me there. Getting close to, I think, 2,000 followers already there. And spinebustertees.com. I am a machine over here and I keep running.
Yes, sir. Don't stop. Don't stop now, buddy. But yeah, people go to Spinebuster Tees. I go there. I just bought some stuff. I bought a Undertaker shirt.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's right. Yeah, yeah. I got some new shirts coming in too as well. So that's a teaser. But I will say I'm not gonna. I'll tease it. But there's gonna be some heat. There's gonna be some convict type stuff. There's gonna be some mommy
ooh,
stuff.
mm,
There's gonna be some extreme stuff.
mm.
I'll just say that. So it's gonna be a lot of lot of great stuff coming in. You guys don't want to miss out on it. Trust me.
Oh yeah, you definitely don't, people. Spinebuster Tees. If you're in the San Antonio area, if you're in the Texas area, and you feel like coming down, head over to Wonderland Mall of America and head over to my boy's store. And yeah, you can get if you like T-shirts, if you like Funko Pops, if you like action figures, if you like socks, if you like DVDs, he has those as well. So
Yeah, I got
and
more
also
DVDs coming in, more magazines coming in, more autographs coming in, a shit ton of new action figures coming in. It's gonna be very good stuff. So
and Justin is what makes this operation works. This is his baby. This is his heart and soul. To quote Jeff Lippman, "No Justin, no peace."
yeah.
You need to make that a shirt. Like that needs to be a shirt you need to make. No Justin, no peace.
Nah, I don't want to put my. It's not about me in my shop, so I don't want to do anything like that. So
I think you should take that into consideration. But Spellmaster Tees, there's also a website, spellmastertees.com, and you can't make the trip. Anywho, that's Spellmaster Tees, people. You need to go there like ASAP, right now. Well, not right now, but tomorrow during regular business hours. All right, and as far as me, as I go, you can go to X, Twitter X. I still call it Twitter. It's weird calling it X. DY Experience. You can also go on the Instagram page. Go to the YouTube channel. And yeah, subscribe. It's free. You can also leave a like, a comment, share the videos, tell a friend. You can tell that
yeah,
friend. You can tell this friend.
yeah. Where are we at on? We should set a goal for next year. Where we want to get to on YouTube subscribers.
Isn't it 1,000 where you can start getting monetized?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know where it's at now. I know it's changed. I think it's higher now. I think.
So next year I would like to at least get to 1,000. A
Okay.
thousand would be nice. 2,000 would be amazing.
So I'll be
Just
like more like 100 a month, huh? 100 subscribers a month.
yes, sir. Currently we're at 129, so I think that's two more. Uh, but yeah, let's get
Oh, we
those
got two
numbers
more
up,
today.
people. Yeah, I believe we got two more in the past few days
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
because I share. I'm gonna start sharing more. I'm gonna be annoying as fuck so I can get more, so we can get more followers. But yeah, let's get some more followers to the YouTube channel. Been promoting it a lot more. You can also find the podcast everywhere else. Spreaker is what I call the home base. iTunes, Spotify. Uh, yeah, but yeah, the YouTube channel first and foremost. Let's get those numbers up. Let's get those numbers up, people. Um, but yeah, that's about it. And then, like I mentioned, the podcast is every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central Time here on YouTube, and also here on the Discord channel on the Wrestling Soup channel that Mish was also very humbly nice and very welcoming about putting us on this platform. So thank you, Mish. And yeah, that's about it, people. We'll see you next Wednesday, same time, same channel, where we will be reviewing Deadline, as well as anything else that might be popping up.
Speaking of deadline, I'm just gonna throw this out there. This just came to me.
Huh.
Because we're talking about it could be Obafemi. What if it's
Hmm.
Lance and Hawaii?
Ooh.
Getting revenge. The Rock sending Lance over. Because The Rock ain't gonna be fucking be there, but Lance could be on fucking NXT. The Rock sending Lance on over to NXT to get revenge for what happened with his daughter.
Yeah, he's been signed to WWE for a while, right?
Yep.
Okay. I was thinking about Zilla, but Zilla's not signed. Um,
I have people come to my shop all the time. It's like, oh, Zill's gonna be in the War Games. Like, guys, he's young. Let him develop first on the Indies, then bring him in. I don't understand the rush of bringing in Zilla for.
what if it's Penta?
No, I got Penta in being LA Knight.
Okay. All right. All right.
And
Fair enough.
Penta's above NXT.
All right. Fair enough. But all right. That's it, people. We are done, and we will see you next week. Peace out.
Peace. Oh my god, I am so tired.